saying, what they got to sit up here and move our stuff for? It's not even safe for us to leave documents back here. That's how the budget got.
We are live. It will be. To the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all for this opportunity. God bless your guidance, and that we do the right thing. And I ask you for your unity in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. Present.
Councilmember Cobb.
Present.
And Councilmember. So, moving forward to item number 2, fiscal year 2026 budget. A, confirmed donations, Ms. Matthews.
All right, starting with the donations, want to go over which donations that we're confirming. Considering that some did not show up, whether or not we were still donate to those agencies.
That, the cost that they emailed me afterwards and said, hey, sorry, I missed your email. And then the one night where no one had confirmed, the high school actually ended up showing up.
Okay.
So the Marva was prepared to come as well. I think we just need to go ahead, do the list of donations, get them out and be done with it.
Okay.
Is there anything you can share?
So the first one is 2 for the high school. One is for the banners for the graduation. And then the second one is for the SAD, which is for the prom. Did you want the dollar amounts too? 500 for the SAD and 500 for the high school senior banners. The next is donations for the Samaritan Shelter. We have it listed at $10,000.
City has neglected the Samaritan Shelter. for many years, not intentionally. I think that it's something that just happened. Perfect from that. What else happened?
If you go to the last page of the general fund budget. Mhm. It's probably the last two pages. Starting with Department 850 donations. It was 5,000 last year. Oh, for the Samaritan shelter, it was 1,500 is what we gave last year, and we budgeted 1,500. Mm-hmm. The next is the Marwood Theater. They requested $10,000 this year. Previous year, budget was 5,000 and we gave 5,000. It was for upgrades and repairs. As you remember, they had that big sewer main breakout here towards the end of last year. Okay. The next is donations for the parade, Christmas parade at 7,000. It was close to 8,000. Mm-hmm. Yep, same thing. Now the Colston House, they were asking for 8,000 this year, and last year we gave 10,000. Mm-hmm.
We told them they have to start doing something.
Mm-hmm.
They cannot rely on donations from the city to operate. Now they closed their line of credit, which really doesn't make sense to me. I haven't seen anything different happening. I understand that it's an older group of people. They have limited volunteers, but they have to do something to get new members and to fundraise.
Please. Okay. The next up is donations to the Sturgis School. They're only requesting $3,500 this year. Last year, we gave 10, budgeted for 10, and she said this year, that was above and beyond what they needed, and they did not. 3,500 was a good number this year. Pocomoke Little League.
We don't know how much it's going to be to sponsor two teams.
Okay.
That's where it becomes a problem. So I think we probably should budget the 1,500.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever the cost is to sponsor the two teams,
Mm-hmm.
take it out of the 1,500 and then whatever we have to build, we'll push that back into the general.
Okay. Life Crisis Center. That was one of the ones we didn't hear back from either. Mm-mm. And their request this year was for 5,000. Last year, we budgeted for 1,000 and gave 1,000. Mm-hmm, for the Life Crisis. Mhm. So is the five, everybody has a consensus of the 5,000. The Cricket Center, which is now the Worcester County. What is it called?
We know this.
Okay, as the Cricket Center, they're requesting $2,000 this year, same amount as last year. WCDC is requesting $1,000, this year. Last year was 600 is what they requested. Mhm.
We agreed to buy the devices.
Yes.
So is there any way that this money can only be used for something?
I think what they did last year was they purchased the iPad and then it was like auctioned off. Mm-hmm. Razor, yes,
Pretty sure they clarified that it's gonna be the same.
same thing. The next up is boat docking challenge for 3,000. And the same amount as last year. Mhm.
We do need to see some financials from the boat
Mhm.
association. We literally get-
So what was stated, when we did ask for the request for the boat docking, that they're not required to file a tax return because they're under a certain dollar amount. But even with some of the other agencies, if they still provided a profit and loss and also provided a balance sheet. But he did not. He only provided the expenses for the boat docking.
So can we make that a requirement that he provides?
It was a requirement. Mm-hmm.
But then at the same time,
Mm-hmm.
that does,
Huge.
yeah. I think budgeted, but hold it until,
He provides, yeah,
and don't turn it over until then.
okay. The next up is the food bank, which is Delos Closet for 10,000.
Go into other places and give out, because I think that's just a conversation that we need to have with Josh. I would love to see him bring back the resource fair.
So right now we have the Marva and the Halston House that we're undecided right now. And the only other one that's not listed is the Discovery Museum. And their initial request was 30,000. The Discovery Center. 30,000.
Donating money to them. Number one, the Discovery Center, and I'm not discounting anything they do, we just need to lay out the facts. The Discovery Center pays $1 a year,
Mhm.
and the city maintains that building.
Mhm.
That's number one, or we're supposed to at least. And number two, the Discovery Center still owes us $20,000. Some people got angry the last time that Monica said it.
Mhm.
At the end of the day, what she said was the truth.
Truth.
And that is something that we need to discuss when we're talking about budgeting. Personally, do I think that we're ever going to see that money? No.
Mhm.
But what do we do?
If we're giving them this money, is there a guarantee, well, it wasn't a guarantee with the initial money given, right, that they're gonna pay it back? What's our get from that? What do we get?
Cause,
Like, what's our,
'cause I think at this point, it was what, 2022 that it was supposed to be paid back, completely paid back? And now we're talking 2025. It was. No,
so nothing ever was made, no payment ever?
no, not even after the,
This-
mm-hmm,
Originally, one payment was made
mm-hmm,
from the original. Then, once communication started concerning this, there was another idea that they threw our
Yeah.
way. We countered and we never heard anything.
think
back.
that-
Randy has spoken and that the, executive director.
right there.
So
So-
I think it's phenomenal.
Yeah, and I think it's just a conversation of what does council want to see? What do they want to do at this point? And I don't know that that's something we can have here in this budget work session to talk about, or is that something?
We are responsible for repairing the bid.
Mm-hmm,
And that's what needs to be budgeted, and that's what we agreed on
Mhm.
a couple years ago, that anything that we wouldn't make a donation to them.
mm-hmm,
It would, whatever we had, we would budget for the repairs
Repairs.
and the things that needed to happen in the building.
What needs to be repaired?
I don't think it's even about that. What they're
Mm-mm.
asking for is money, operational
because
expenses.
Get that, but he said what we need to do is, we're just gonna restrict it to repairs. So we're gonna ask them to come up with a list of the things that
Well, we
need to
still
be
have the
repaired.
list.
list,
right?
yeah, we still have the list. Mm-hmm.
So still gonna use that?
So I can reach out to Todd, the executive director, and get him to give us a list of items that they need repaired at the Discovery Center.
If we get that list, when do we start discussing the debt? Do we just write that off, or are we gonna bring it up again?
I
You
think
know,
that's the
something.
bigger problem.
That's the bigger conversation.
If we're
Mhm.
not.
I have to go with what he's saying, hear what he's saying, hear what he says first.
Well,
Since he's the new.
Yeah, and I
Well,
was gonna say,
we did, the
Yeah.
night that he paid, we did speak
To
to
him.
him. And I'm not saying that they don't have the money,
Mhm.
but they are in a crunch. But we do need to decide what we're going to do.
Do.
Are we going to forbear it? Are we going to forgive it? Are we going to say, that is your donation for the next 4 years, don't ask us for
Anything
anything else?
else?
Or are we going to come to the table and create a viable solution? It has to be, a viable solution. It has to come from this body.
Body, yep. And the conversation I did have with him on Friday was a very productive conversation. And just, in speaking with him, he's pretty much coming in, he's walking in new and finding skeletons that like I said, but the conversation was a productive conversation. There are some things that they want to, not necessarily repairs, but they are upgrades. But it would also constitute that we would have to give permission for those upgrades to be done on some parts of the building. So we will table the Discovery Center to a different, I said, so we'll table the Discovery Center for a conversation for another day.
Number one, are we giving them a donation? That's the easiest part.
If we're saying that we want them to pay us $20,000, to me, it doesn't make sense to give them money.
I just got to lay it all out.
Cause if they can't pay it back the first amount,
Mhm.
they pay it back.
Well,
I mean,
anything that we would give them
Mhm.
would be a donation.
Sure.
It wouldn't be something that
Mhm.
we would ask them to pay back. But what I'm saying is, number one, this $20,000 been moving for a long time.
Yeah.
We've given donations while
Mhm.
the $20,000 was moving.
Lumen.
Which is why I think we should.
And that's
just
what
go ahead
happens
and
when,
forgive it.
when handshakes.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think we should just forgive it.
I am not opposed to forgiving it, but I do believe that with forgiving it, there needs to be a parameter on when they can even come back and ask for a donation.
Nation.
But I think the reason we're forgiving it is because they need money, and that's why they can't pay it back.
I mean,
So I don't wanna say we
populational
won't
costs,
give them a
right.
donation,
Mhm.
because they need money, that's why they can't pay the debt.
I mean, they need it for operation purposes.
Operation
They,
expenses, yeah.
so they can't really operate
without it,
without our donation.
Nation.
we obviously want to operate.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, so you,
Because they are adding value to the community.
Mhm.
And with his conversation, it seems like he wants to, bring even more to it. I don't see where it's hurting us.
Well, I do think that they add value to our community.
Mhm.
And I keep saying this, if the city does things the right way, in repairing that building the
Mhm.
way it's supposed to be repaired, the city is also helping them add value.
To the bill, yep.
To the community. But again, the city has to do things the right way.
Right.
I'm not trying to go off about public works or anything like that, but get this stuff fixed up.
Mhm.
do we, do you give them a donation? It may not be, 30,000 if they're requesting, right?
Mhm.
We wanna keep them operating.
Yeah.
So.
So do we give a donation but still require them to pay back the loan and we start the repayment again?
Doesn't seem like they're gonna make anything.
No.
Haven't been making.
It's been 3-4 years?
3 or 4 years.
So
Mhm.
maybe we can forgive.
No. This originated
Mhm.
before I was even on the city.
Yes,
Wow.
it was. Yeah, it was before Todd. It was like he had just came, I want to say he had just came on or right before him.
There hadn't been like-
It was right before him. When the initial loan was, when the initial loan from the city was given to them.
It was 27.
Yeah, it was 2017. It was before Todd got here. And I believe what's the last payment they made was in 2018, 17, 18. And we forgave a year, the city forgave a year, that year.
So how much was that we forgave?
It was a year's worth of payments that was forgiven. So was it 5 something? So it was about $6,600 that they forgave at that time. 6,600.
It just puts us in a bad situation because then at the same time, it's like, then we can't go around forgiving the whole thing.
Mhm.
We can't just keep forgiving it without having.
Mm-hmm.
And while the hands of their executive director might change,
Mm-hmm.
they still have a board.
Yeah.
And that's just like us.
Mm-hmm.
The city manager might change, but we still have the mayor and
Council.
council. Ms. Matthews, what do you believe is the most viable solution?
In my opinion, we should forgive it. Because I don't believe we're gonna get it. I think it would do a disservice to them if we made them pay it back. I don't think that that's the position that we should put them in at this point. I understand, like you said, I understand what you guys are saying, you know, they do have a board. But if we want to keep them up and running, there's no way that we can have them pay back the loan and then them try to do their operational needs as possible.
The same way you have to maintain
Pain.
without
Mhm.
the city manager, it's the same way their board has to
Continue to, yeah.
maintain. So there should be nothing that your executive director doesn't
Mhm.
know, even when hands crossed, because your board should know what's going on.
Yes.
That's something we can put out.
So forgive it, but do we still give them a donation?
And I'm gonna say a small donation, not 30,000. I think we need to figure out what is probably the most important to them, even if it's nothing but 2,500, something to allow for them to upgrade something, to bring more value to the Discovery Center. That's my opinion.
But we can stipulate what the donation is for.
For,
But I also think that we need a lease amendment,
mhm,
and we need the little building back.
the old gas station. Okay. So what are you guys thinking about a donation wise?
The idea of asking them to pick a project.
Pick a pepper, mm-hmm,
I think before we say how much we're going to give them as a
mm-hmm,
donation, we need to figure out what needs to be repaired,
repaired, okay.
because we still have to budget for that.
So currently for that, and that budget number was based off of, I guess, what we were giving them each year in the donation. Oh, yeah. So in the budget, it was 20,000, but reminding everyone, there was approximately 90-some thousand dollars worth of repairs because of the water leaking into
And
the
how
building.
much-
That's probably only part of the problem, was the leak inside the building.
We need to fix it and be done with
With it.
Yeah.
all of the issues
Mhm.
need to be fixed and be buried.
It's just dragging. Ugh.
Let me make a notation. So I will reach out to him and send an email and ask him what are the other items that need to be repaired within the Discovery Center? And then and then find out about specific projects that they have in mind.
Is the fact that he has ideas and he's trying to move things.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
He's approachable. I think that he is going to be a great partner
Mm-hmm.
for the city, and I want to make it clear, I was not trying to cut him, but it is my duty
Mm-hmm.
to lay all the facts
So,
out on the table.
yeah.
That way, we can never say, well, we didn't know X,
Mhm.
Y, and Z. Why are we budgeting $20,000 for restaurant repair? We're only responsible for the outside.
That is correct.
We can drop that down, and put that $10,000 someplace else.
Okay.
We can drop it to 10,000.
All right, changing it now.
And according to their lease, correct me if I'm wrong, but they are supposed to pay $5,000.
For,
What is the contingency?
oh. Yep. There is a contingency in the lease.
Sorry,
Yeah.
but I don't foresee
Mm-hmm.
us exceeding $10,000.
$1,000, okay. Okay. So I think that's all with the donations. Did you guys, go ahead.
I'm gonna make this clear.
Mhm.
Nothing that we're talking about right now with the Discovery Center nor the restaurant, what we were just talking about was maintenance expenses that the city is
Created.
obligated. You got to preference this stuff.
Yeah.
Maintenance expenses that the city is obligated to do because we own the buildings in which they operate.
Great. We're gonna move on and we're gonna jump from the donations on the budget and go to the rates and fees.
Is there any discussion based on what's proposed?
No.
On page two. Page two has stayed the same, from last year.
Yes.
I do have a question. The annexation fee. What is the justification to, $2,000? I'm not saying we change it, I just wanted a. How long has it been 2,000?
It's been 2,000 for a long time. It has been. How many properties right now that would want to be annexed into the actual city? Do we know that? I mean, based off planning and zoning?
None of this change has changed from last year.
No. Mm-hmm.
I do have some suggestions.
Mm-hmm.
The electrical permit, it was 25. Ms. Matthews changed it to 35. I'm recommending that we move it to 50, which was the recommendation of our planning. The electrical permits, the plumbing permit, and the HVAC permit, he recommended all of them go to 55. But they put 35 to think. You guys are in agreement with the 50? How do we be sure that people are getting these permits when the work is actually getting done? Because that has been some question. People want to know, no fee for a roof permit, but no fee, but a permit required. What is the justification?
The justification for the permit required is because want to make sure that they're not using unlicensed contractors and wanting to make sure the contractor is MHIC. That was actually. What was I know we took the fee out last year. Yeah, that's true. And I think it was 75 the year before. So do you think that we should put it back to 75 or no? Okay.
The business license, the annual business license is $60. Staff is recommending we raise it to $100 per year. and failure to obtain goes from $100 to $200 for every 30 days of non-compliance. The hawker and peddler license, all of that is the same. The transient merchant license, that is the same. The restaurant grease trap inspection is at $250. Staff is recommending that, there is a $350 inspection. Is that per inspection?
Per inspection.
$350 per inspection, and they're required to get an inspection twice a year.
Twice a year.
I'm perfectly fine. Anybody have any comments? Grease trap, pump out and cleaning, it was $500. Staff is recommending that we move the fee up to $1,000. That's a dirty job. Everything on this next page is the same, the fees and fines.
Mhm.
The procedure has changed a little bit, but
Yeah.
we don't discuss the
No.
procedure. We can- Then if we go to page 6, littering, the first offense is 100, the subsequent violation is 200. Initially, it was $25 and subsequent was $50, but we need the police to really enforce this.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say, do they really enforce it?
Mm-mm.
And that's all that I have. If you all want to review anything else, everything else after this is the same as last year.
Mm-hmm.
Let's jump in. After this, the departments can come in
Okay.
and they can present for themselves.
Okay.
I would like to do on Zoom, I'd like to do PowerPoint presentation
Mm-hmm.
where they're able to speak to us about, their department
Mm-hmm.
and different things like that. So let's go ahead and get that scheduled.
Okay.
Get that hammered out. Have they seen these numbers for their department?
Yes.
Are they fine with it?
Yes.
So are you willing to present it? Are you willing to present all of that information to us next week using PowerPoint?
Now, are they coming too? They're coming.
And-
Okay. Do it. Okay.
And if something is changing, we do need justification.
Patient.
Different things like that.
Okay.
And if you can do that next week,
Mm-hmm.
we can be ready to move forward with this budget.
Okay.
Are there any more questions? Any more questions? Okay. Well, we are adjourned. We'd like to thank everybody for joining us tonight. We will reconvene
Mhm.
next week. I know that we do have a mayor and council meeting next week, but we'll also have to reconvene for this.
Okay.
We'll go ahead and get it knocked out. We will have, further information on the platform that we meet on, just so we can see visuals and things like that,
Yeah.
all right?
Okay.
Thank y'all. Y'all have a good night.